All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our LaserApp and AdvisorEngine integration overview webinar. My name is Jared Bruley, and I'm the Director of Customer Marketing here at iPipeline, and I'm going to serve as your webinar host today. At iPipeline, we're focused on helping you secure more financial futures through our innovative and comprehensive suite of end-to-end digital solutions, and we're really glad you could join us today. In today's session, we're going to dive into the powerful features and seamless integration between LaserApp and AdvisorEngine. Now, in an effort to minimize distractions and background noise, we have muted all participants and disabled your camera functions. Also, this webinar is being recorded, and each of you are going to receive email instructions on how to view and access the recording within the next few days. We will also post the recording on ipipeline.com. Now, we hope that you have a lot of questions, and we'd love to answer all of them. So if you do have a question during today's session, please use the chat feature and send your question to the host and panelists. We will have time at the end of the session today to answer questions that come in during the presentation. Now, I'd like to introduce our speakers for today's session. First up, I'd like to introduce Kathy Fajaro. Kathy is a colleague of mine, and she is our Director of Wealth Management Sales here at iPipeline and has been part of the LaserApp and iPipeline family for over 17 years. Kathy has worked with more than 300 broker-dealers throughout her career, mostly in the independent broker-dealer and RIA space, and loves helping folks achieve their digital processing needs for their firm. Our next speaker that we have is a new friend and colleague, Kathy Crowley, who is the Business Development Manager at AdvisorEngine. Kathy helps RIA firms deepen client relationships and run better businesses through AdvisorEngine's end-to-end wealth management platform. She also spends her days sharing the incredible value of AdvisorEngine with advisory firms and brings 20 years of technology, sales, and personal management experience to the table. Kathy has a proven track record of building and leading sales organizations and helps firms recognize the need for a connected, approachable, and scalable solution. Now, today's agenda for the session is pretty straightforward. We're going to start out with setting the stage and giving you all high-level company overviews of iPipeline and AdvisorEngine, followed by live demos of both AdvisorEngine and LaserApp. And like I said earlier, we will then have time at the end of today's session with some Q&A. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Kathy Fajaro to get us started. Kathy?
Hi, welcome everyone to the LaserApp and AdvisorEngine demonstration. My name is Kathy Fajardo, and I think next screen, Jared. Perfect. So a little background on iPipeline. So iPipeline was founded in 1995. Today, we have about 925 employees all over the United States. Our headquarters today is actually in Exton, Pennsylvania. We have offices in the US, Canada, and also the UK. iPipeline's really, their focus is really around the broker-dealers, BGAs, IMOs, MGAs, and financial institutions. So we work with about 100 plus carriers on the iPipeline side, and about 2,500 plus broker-dealers, BGAs, and MGAs as well. We also work with about 500,000 agents and licensed advisors as well. So next slide, please. Little information on LaserApp. So LaserApp, if you think of our software, we have the largest repository of financial applications today. Essentially, we streamline the process for pre-populating forms for LaserApp. We work with about 350 or so independent broker-dealers, along with RIAs. Today, we have relationships with all of the annuities, securities, all the major custodians, like Schwab, Fidelity, all the major clearing firms, NFS, Pershing, and also a lot of security vendors. And biggest ones are like American Funds, and also all of the alternative investment companies. Essentially, LaserApp is designed to really pre-fill data from your CRM, like AdvisorEngine, basically taking that data and pre-filling the forms. It's really taking the basic information that you essentially fill out all the time: name, address, phone number, email address, social security, date of birth. Essentially, it's filling out those forms, and then once the forms are completed inside LaserApp, you could really either print, save, or e-sign those forms. So really saving you the time that it takes to fill out the forms. Next slide. So the process, I think I had just mentioned that, I apologize. So the process is really taking the data from AdvisorEngine. So that's where you really start. You log in there, you pull up your client, and then from there, there is a button already built in through the CRM. You could click that button on the client data screen, launch LaserUp, and once you're inside LaserUp, that's where you say, you know what, I need my broker-dealer form. I maybe need a custodian form. I need a securities forms like American funds, for example, alternative investments. Essentially, you could pull up multiple forms that you are filling out. You could add additional data onto that application. But once the form is completed, you can go ahead and print the form, have it wet signed, or you can go ahead and click a button and send it off for e-signature. We have integrations with DocuSign, Signex, Alpha Trust. And then pretty much that form is out of LaserUp, and then it's already sent to the customer for e-sign. And pass it over to Kathy.
All right. Thank you, Kathy. That sounds so weird to say. That's delightful. Well, thank everybody. Thank you for everybody that's joined us today. I'm Kathy Crowley, and I am delighted to talk a little bit about AdvisorEngine today before I launch into a demo and then turn it back over to Kathy for the LaserApp demo. What Kathy talked about when she talked about her little lifestyle, the life cycle there, I'm going to show you how that manifests in AdvisorEngine, and then Kathy's going to kind of take you through the rest of that. Here at AdvisorEngine, we are a full wealth management platform. And while today we're going to focus on the CRM part and how we integrate with LaserApp, I do want to share with you, we do offer the full platform, everything from CRM, portfolio management, client portal, trading rebalancing, billing. We have an amazing account opening process directly within our platform as well. So definitely stay tuned for more things from us, more on that too. But what we'd like to do is really take a tailored approach to helping you really optimize your firm. And we do that in two ways. So obviously the platform piece of that is a big part of it. We currently serve over firms managing over 500 billion in assets, and we have over 30 integration partners to do that. And of course, one of our favorites, of course, is iPipeline here. So, and of course, you spend a lot of time with me and some of my amazing colleagues up front. But what we really feel like is important is what happens after you've chosen AdvisorEngine, and that's the partnership piece. And we feel like it definitely is a differentiator between us and other folks out there. Our client service team has a 98% satisfaction rating consistent through the years. I'm based in Raleigh, North Carolina, and literally when I'm in the office, that team sits across the room from me, and they're fantastic. They just really take great pride in taking care of our clients. So again, you spend a lot of time with me up front, and while that is probably a delightful experience for most folks, what really matters, again, is what happens afterwards. So not only do we have a great team that's going to help you when you need that help, but we can take your data that you have in other systems and we can put those into our platform. And then on top of that, we also have a great training team, because what we hear from advisory firms a lot is that, I feel like I'm only using, 10 or 20% of what this platform can do. And we really take a lot of pride in helping you to set things up so that you can use as much of the program as you want to. So while I'm going to show you just really high level about the CRM today, just know that we can go a whole lot deeper than that. And again, there's an amazing team behind us, because we don't want to be just a vendor for you. We want to be your partner in your technology. All right, so Jared, with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and share, and
Yep.
I'm going to share my screen. I'll let you pass that over to me, Jared.
There you go. You should be able to share now.
Excellent. All right, on the screen right now, you should be seeing George and Sally. I'm going to assume that that's what you're seeing here. What you're seeing on the screen right now is the client record. I'm going to talk a little bit about how we're structured. I'm going to talk a little bit about a little deeper in the areas, and I'm going to show you the integration specifically here with LaserApp Anywhere. On the left-hand side, you're seeing a navigation bar that's going to get you to any part of the CRM. And then across the screen, you're seeing where all of the data is housed. So this navigation bar, again, is configurable. So depending on your role in the firm, and then across the top where the data is housed. There's some of this that you can also turn off. So let's say that your firm is a referral only and you're not doing a whole lot of prospecting. If you want to turn this opportunity area off, you can do that, essentially giving you the ability to configure the CRM to be as simple or as complex as your business is. We're on the summary screen right now. And what you're seeing is that we household your clients. So you're seeing your record card, person one and person two. And these cards are also configurable. And the joke I typically tell here is that you don't have to know fancy words like Java and C++ to configure your CRM. We make it really simple. You can pop down into your settings, you can go to the record layout configuration, and you're going to decide what fields do I want to see, what order do I want to see those in, and then what do I want to see going across the screen as well. So again, we've tried to create just a really aesthetically pleasing space for you to see the client data that you want to see. You also have the ability in the firm for individuals to create their own look. So if you want to have for your client service reps, maybe there's some different information that they may want to see from an advisor. So you have the ability to have different data on the screens here too. This detail dropdown is going to be all of that know your client data. So addresses, phone numbers, addresses, all of those custom fields, and then their relationships. So being able to connect folks together, whether it's a family structure you're looking for, or if you want to see other professionals that are connected with your client, you can track all of that right here. This workflow dropdown, this is where you're going to see everything that you have done or are doing for the client. So record actions are going to show you all of those little individual steps or individual actions that you've taken. Obviously, you can have recurring actions, so that annual birthday call or that RMD discussion you need to have each year. And then your workflow and service monitor. So the workflow monitor is going to show you on the client record all the workflow that client's currently engaged in. And of course, I have that available for you globally as well. The service monitor, this is definitely a differentiator as well with our CRM. This is going to allow you to automate your processes. So if you tier your clients, or if there's just a regular cadence that you want to make sure that you're providing to your clients, you can set that up in the service monitor, and that's going to automatically kick off the workflow or those tasks to the right person at the right time, which is great. And again, we have an amazing training team that will kind of workshop that with you to help you get it set up really well. The financial dropdown, this is where all of those, that asset capability. So we, again, we have amazing partners in this space. We can bring that data directly in from your custodian and from some of those other places where you may have held away assets. So we have an amazing asset sync, as well as obviously a direct sync with some other portfolio management systems, especially our own. We also have all those fields already built in for you that you may want to track for your clients. So address, insurance, estate planning, all those fields are built in. You can track your business development. We have document storage available to you, and obviously email capture. And then one other thing I'll show you before I jump over to specifically the Laser App Anywhere integration, for those of you that want to see things kind of in a dashboard setting, just know for those of you in operations, I have an amazing operations dashboard for you to see what's happening across your entire database. So what's happening with all the workflow? What is my team working on? How many clients by advisor? What is the AUM by advisor? So we just have some really great dashboards set up for you that are configurable. You can share those across your teams as well. You can have some that are private. And then as you think more about other types of data as well. So not only do I have an executive dashboard, but for those of you that are doing a lot of prospecting and you want to track your pipeline, you can easily track your sales funnel here. And what's really great about the dashboard piece is that in each of these areas, I can actually click here and then see even more information and do a deep dive. And then I can export it to a grid space or out to Excel for those of you who like to do additional data manipulation. Projected versus actual, your lost codes, channel. So what's really great about this particular card is that over time, really being able to see, are you spending your time and your marketing dollars in the way that makes the most sense? So being able to see, is there a direct mail piece? Is there a podcast? Is there a specific networking event that your advisors are going to that's yielding that net new AUM? To be able to see that here. What's great about the integration specifically, is that when I'm on the client record, I can come over to my tools here. I'm going to go to my integrations and I'm going to send this out to LaserApp. So what this is going to do is now it's going to go ahead and log me in with my single sign-on. Now I have a very simple LaserApp setup here. Most of you are going to have a ton of forms and a ton of things over here. So first I'm going to see the latest news. I'm going to be able to see all the really cool features that have come out here. So I can see all of my new LaserApp features. So this is a really great screen to come into. And then when I'm ready and I want to kind of populate a specific form, it'll populate my form for me with all of that Rolodex type of data. So again, it's just a really nice clean integration, very easy to set up with your credentials. And it's just going to take you right over here to populate your forms. And then Kathy is going to show you exactly what happens then and how the rest of that will manifest. So again, next week we are at Schwab. So I hope that you will, if you're at the Schwab Impact event, please come and see us and check out AdvisorEngine.com if you want to see more about our wealth management platform. And I know our information will be posted here. And I just look forward to individually connecting with a lot of you. And with that, I will stop sharing and I will turn it over to Kathy.
All right, perfect. Thanks, Kathy. And let me go ahead and just share my screen here. All right, perfect. And Jared, can you see my screen?
We can. Yep.
All right, perfect. So as mentioned with Kathy, your starting point is really going to be from AdvisorEngine. And when you start from AdvisorEngine, it's really taking that data from the CRM to help fill out the form. Now, let me go in here to the top right-hand corner where you see current contact. LaserApp is designed to pre-fill really about 80% of data. So starting from the contact data, LaserApp is going to take the name, address, the phone or email address, social security, date of birth, spouse information, beneficiary. So it's very nice that it seamlessly flows through AdvisorEngine and over to LaserApp, corporate trust info, banking, and finances. Now, on top of that data that for the client information, we'll also pre-fill firm data. So right here, I have LaserApp Financial Services. This could essentially just be your broker-dealer, your RA information. That data is also going to get pre-filled over to the form. Along with that is going to be the user data, which is typically advisor or registered rep information. So here's my information. This is information that's going to flow through the forms. Now, LaserApp prides itself really in the three-step process when it comes to helping fill out the forms. Now, the very first step that you're really going to go through is AdvisorEngine. You're going to choose a client. You're going to launch LaserApp. You're going to end up here. So that's the first step. Second step is collecting your forms. Now, one of the things that we have is we have access to 33,000 plus forms in LaserApp. As mentioned, annuities, broker-dealer, clearing firm insurance, miscellaneous RA, and securities. Every company that we do work with, we do have a contractual agreement with. So that really ensures you that we have the most current and up-to-date version of those applications. So really no more having to go through, double check if your broker-dealer forms are up to date or if American Fund forms are up to date or Schwab forms are up to date. We should have the most current and up-to-date version of the application. So here we have a list of all of our forms. It's a very lengthy list, but we can definitely trim things down for you. I'll just choose a American Funds form here. I'll drop that into my queue. And I'll go ahead and select a couple other forms here. I'll choose a miscellaneous form. Just choose a sample form. And then, of course, you could add additional forms as you need to. And you could also duplicate a form as well. So if I want to duplicate this American Funds form, I can. I could also rearrange these forms depending on how I want it to be viewed when it gets sent over to the customer. I'll go ahead and just open up these forms here. There we go. So here we have a drop down of all the forms that we currently have. This one's the American Funds form. I'll just go ahead and choose our sample form just to go ahead and show you. But here you could see it's going to take all that data from the CRM. So here's all of John Doe's information that we have, my information as the advisor, my rep number. Here we have John Doe. I can change this from individual, change it over to a joint. So I could also check anything that needs to be checked off. Just keep in mind the forms are completely interactive. Now you'll see these insert buttons built in all throughout these forms. You could actually pull in additional data from your CRM and pull that over to help fill that out. So as you can tell, I mean, I can go through here, fill out additional information if I need to. I could also add information if I want to add information, or I could also check anything that needs to be checked off as well. Now you'll notice areas here where it's initial, or you'll even see some areas for e-sign for signature. You'll see those already pre-mapped for DocuSign. So I could tab through the next page, employment information, joint information, personal data ID type. We could throw in the driver's license, green card, or passport. So you'll notice here, I haven't really filled out much information yet. That's, me hand filling any information, but banking information, beneficiaries. I'm going through this pretty quickly, which makes it nice and easy, spending less time on filling out those forms. I could type in information, and once again, you'll see DocuSign already pre-assigned. Same thing, you'll see my information as the advisor, my broker-dealer information, and if you hover any of these fields, you'll see that client signature assigned to John Doe, Jane Doe, and myself as the advisor. Now, once I'm done and completed with this first form, I could tap through the next form, complete the additional forms that I need to, and same thing, go through the forms, check anything that needs to be checked off, add additional information if you need to add additional information. Now, what you'll see here is, I'll go back to the sample form. Once a form is completed, you can go ahead and either print, save, or e-sign the forms. Now, the nice thing is if I go ahead and check this, click this button, send to DocuSign, you'll notice a pop-up here which says validation failure. Essentially what that means is that it is walking me through step by step from my form with any missing information that I have. So I may be missing a social security number, date of birth, but here it says I'm missing the BD confirmation number. So I can go ahead and fix that now. And then I can go ahead and add the additional information. I can click that button again, and it's going to continuously walk me through step by step to complete the form. I'm going to go ahead and just click skip all for the sake of this demo. You'll see a pop-up box here. Once I'm ready for signature, I can go ahead and put an email subject, additional information for the email body. This can also be pre-templatized to make it easy, so something will always pop up here. That could be legal jargon, basic information, whatever that you wanted to always say for the email body. You could also force the routing order. Makes it easy because if I wanted Jane Doe to sign first, for example, then John Doe, then myself, I could change the routing order. I could then also add additional supplemental PDFs if I need to. I grab that from my workstation, and then once I'm done, I can go ahead and just click OK. Now, I won't go ahead and click OK, but for this section here, just to give you an idea, on the left-hand side of the dashboard, a couple of key features is you do have the ability to pre-group your forms together. So, for example, if you use these forms quite often, you could have an IRA account packet, a new account packet, change a broker-dealer packet, Schwab packet. I mean, the list is pretty much endless. You can group your forms together to make it easy for you in the future, so that when you go into LaserUp, you don't have to go through this entire list of applications. You can just go in here. You could choose one of those packets that you've pre-created, and then you could drop that into your queue, making it simple and easy. And really, it just saves you a lot of time instead of searching for all of your forms. All right. I'll pass that over to Jared.
Great. Awesome. Thanks, Kathy and Kathy. Hopefully you guys all found those demos and company overviews insightful. Again, I want to thank Kathy from AdvisorEngine for sharing the demo and all of that. So as a reminder, if anyone has questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. We do have a few that have come in. We have time to answer as many questions as we get. So strongly encourage, if you have a question or you want to learn a little bit more about something, feel free to let us know, and we will definitely be sure to answer that. First question that has popped in is there a cost to connect AdvisorEngine to LaserApp?
So the answer to that is no. There's no cost for it. So once you've already got your credentials with Laser App and you have your AdvisorEngine credentials, it's super easy to go about connecting those. And there's no cost. We do not charge extra for the connection of the integrations.
Awesome. Thanks, Kathy. Next question is, how do I go about integrating my CRM with Laser App? How does that work?
So in our system, you'll go into your settings and there's a firm profile. And on the firm profile, there's a place in there for you to add those your Laser App credentials, and then off you go. Super easy to do the connection.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Kathy F, I'm going to toss this question over to you. What happens if something needs to be changed on the form after data moves from AdvisorEngine to Laser App? How does that process work? What's all outlined within that workflow?
So my recommendation is you always want to start off from your CRM. If you do make the changes inside Laser App, just keep in mind that data isn't going to flow backwards. So it's not going to go from Laser App and back over to AdvisorEngine. So my recommendation would be you could either one, go back into Laser App if you already have the client open and it's reading with the client information. Inside Laser App, you can go ahead and just make that change. But just keep in mind, it's not going to make those changes in AdvisorEngine. So recommendation, go ahead and always make the changes from the top down first.
Makes sense. Got to start with the source record, right? Totally makes sense. Another question popped in. This person is interested in learning more. What's the next step? So as you guys can all see, we have 2 QR codes on the screen. If you want to dive a little bit more into Laser App and have a deeper one-on-one conversation with Kathy, scan that QR code, fill out our short form, and Kathy and George would be more than willing to set up a conversation with you sooner rather than later. And then for AdvisorEngine, same thing. If you want to scan that QR code, Kathy Crowley with a C has set up a Calendly link. So you can schedule time right on her calendar to discuss next steps with AdvisorEngine. And the last question that we've gotten, I'm going to toss this to both of you guys, and you can talk about the practices within both organizations. But what does Laser App and AdvisorEngine do to help protect client data, safeguard that? What measures are in place?
So for the Laser App side, just keep in mind that data only flows through Laser App, but we don't actually store the client data. The only thing that Laser App does store is advisor information, which is typically just the name, address, phone number, and email address. And then of course, broker-dealer information, which is typically found on websites. It's just the name of the company and of course the address. But in terms of client information, that we do not store. It just flows through your CRM and then comes to Laser App and then it disappears. That's why we work with have great partners like AdvisorEngine. They are the ones who store client information.
We do, and we take great pride in our security team here at AdvisorEngine. So obviously we go through audits and pen testing, and we actually make, you have a whole security policy. We are very forthcoming with that. So with our clients, you have access to kind of what I would call a due diligence packet, where you can see all kinds of information, exactly how things are encrypted. And you have a link to our SOC reports. We're very proud of how we score on those every time. And like I said, we have an amazing security team that is there to make sure that we're doing everything humanly possible for protection of data. So we take it very seriously here at AdvisorEngine.
Great. Awesome. Well, thank you, Kathy, for the time this afternoon. As a reminder, again, scan the QR codes if you want to dive deeper and learn more. We will be sending a recorded version of this webinar to everyone, so be on the lookout that within the next week or so. And then also be sure to visit iPipeline.com to learn more, not only about Laser App, but all of the other wonderful solutions that iPipeline brings to the table. And also be sure to go visit AdvisorEngine and learn more and have a deeper conversation with Kathy about everything that they can do for your overall wealth management, portfolio management side of things. So with that, thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday and appreciate you all for joining us. Take care.